Hi everyone, welcome to Follow Your Heart here on the Natural Parent Magazine. I'm Cullen. I'm talking about creative sleep spaces in this video because I often get so many questions about how to handle night waking, nighttime needs, and how can I get my child to breastfeed less, to need me less at night, to stay in their own bed, to sleep in their own room, and all of these sorts of questions, when really what I'd like us to consider is that you can't change the needs of your child. Now, you might be able to extinguish their calling out to you, which is what, sleep training or, locking your kids in their bedroom. There's all kinds of things people do to try to extinguish the nighttime needs. But the truth is, you just can't take them away. You can only eliminate your child's calling out for help, calling out for comfort, calling out for a drink, because you decide that you're just not going to respond. But what I invite you to do is think about how can you meet your child's nighttime needs for however long they last, and I mean well into their childhood. How can you meet them, but also get your sleep needs and your rest needs met as well? So through creative sleep spaces, we can, find that happy place where your children get what they need and you get what you need too. And this might be time with your partner. This might be time together as a family. It creates all kinds of different kind of knock-on effects. So let's talk about some possibilities, and then I want to know from you, what have you done to change your sleep spaces to meet your children's needs and your own? What's working for you and your family? So there are some different things you can do, like putting an extra bed in your bedroom. A lot of times people will take their children out of a cot, or the child will climb out of their bed and climb into the parent's bed, and then you've got sometimes 3 or 4 people sleeping in the same bed. Works for some people, but especially if you only have a double or a queen size bed, not so comfortable. Do you have room in your bedroom to bring in another bed? Just a single bed? Could you get a super king bed so that you can all hop in? What actually fits in your room? And for a while, you might have to do things like I did, which was get rid of nightstands at the side of the bed. Move your dressing tables to different spots. Does it really matter? It's really about creating a comfortable sleep space for all of you. A lot of people with younger children are doing what we call the Sidecar Cot. So or crib. They're pushing the cot or the crib up next to the bed, the parent's bed, with the side off. And as long as this is done safely, so there's no big gaps, of course we have to remember with our very young babies to consider all of the safe sleep guidelines and make sure there's no place that our little ones are going to get stuck. So there's some extra considerations, obviously, when we're talking about very young babies. But creating that safety, that place where you all have, the space on the mattresses works really well. I personally preferred having a single bed rather than the cot because I got tired of sleeping in the cot, and once we had our queen bed and our single bed there in the same bedroom, actually pushed up next to each other, I was the one that was kind of going back and forth. But when I was on that single bed by myself, it was like being in heaven because I had my own covers, my own space, and my son and my husband would sleep on the queen size bed together. And I would just roll back and forth kind of as needed. No big deal. Now, another thing to consider, if you do have a child that sometimes sleeps in their own room, whether it's in their crib or their own bed of any kind, then that's fine. So you can put them to bed in that room. And then what about getting another bed in their bedroom that's big enough? So if they're sleeping in a cot, and you obviously aren't going to want to climb into the crib or cot with them, what about getting a double bed to put in their room in addition, so that you can go in there, Your partner can stay asleep in the bedroom. Maybe your partner and your older child are sleeping in there and you're going into the younger child's bedroom, and then you've got your bed together in there. Another possibility, when your child is moving into their own room, why get them a single bed? Because you don't want to sleep in a single bed with them, do you? And it will just mean that they're coming into your room a lot and crawling into bed with you to have their nighttime needs met. So when you get your child their first bed, what about getting it a bigger one, a double or a queen? So when we bought a new bed for our own room, we bought a really big king-size bed, and our old queen bed went into our 3-year-old's room. He was ready to be in his own room by the time he was 3, but he was still wanting me to come and climb into bed with him sometimes, so that worked so perfectly for us. Siblings sharing bedrooms can be another way. When you have older children, of course it's not safe with babies to have them sharing a bed with a sibling. But if you've got, say, a 3 and a 5-year-old, could you get them a queen-size bed to share in the same bedroom? Does that work for them? Really experiment, really playing around. It's no fun for one of you adults in the household to have to go and sleep on the couch. So get some different beds, move them around, move the furniture around in your bedrooms, create spaces that are family friendly, and let's get rid of this idea that the only way mom and dad or mom and mom or whatever your situation is, the only way the adults can be together is, you know, if the children are off in a different bedroom and you have to have your space protected and your time alone. Let's be a little bit more creative with our adult-only time. It doesn't have to mean that you spend the whole night in bed together, just the two of you, to get that time together, okay? There's plenty of ways you can have time together to do whatever you want to do together without having to be spending the entire night in a bedroom alone at the expense of your own child. So let's prioritize things and shift things around. So comment, what creative sleep arrangements have you made to manage your children's nighttime waking? I want to know. We all want to know. What have I missed? Thanks for sharing your ideas, and I will see you tomorrow talking about gentle discipline. Bye, everyone.